Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the Bitcoin sell pressure is continuing to push the price into this area of support again, as the Bitcoin price is once again extending this short-term bullish divergence right now, while Ethereum is once again bouncing from this critical area of support. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and right now the super trend indicator is still in the red, indicating a larger bearish trend. So obviously, as I've been saying every day for a long time now on the channel, I'm still bearish on the larger time frames. We're clearly within a bearish trend, forming lower highs and lower lows, which is what a bearish trend is. But of course, during the larger bearish trend, we can see short-term bullish reliefs here and there during the bearish trend. And as of right now, the line of support for this massive descending broadening wedge pattern is sitting at around 52,500, and this line of resistance is still sitting at just above 68,000. And as of right now, the price is running into some horizontal support right here based on these previous lows, sitting closer towards around 56,500. And we can see that area of support here on this daily Bitcoin chart. As I've been saying for a while now on the channel, we have this area of support in between 56 to 57,000. And around 2 days ago, we saw a bounce from that area, and we are once again potentially right now bouncing from this area, because over the last 1 day, we've entered back into that area in between 56 to 57,000. And at least as of recording this video, we're currently holding above this area, above 56,000, but obviously we're struggling to get back above 57,000, at least at the time of recording this video. And so obviously, as I've been saying recently, I do not really expect a lot of bullish momentum, which is why the price is basically staying down here at this support. But for now, we're still finding support there, which is also why we're not seeing a further break to the downside below 56,000, which basically means just in the short term, we're likely going to consolidate a little bit around this area of support, considering at least for now, there's a lot of buyers in this price range. But at least for now, we do not really have a lot of bullish momentum. We're still within the larger bearish trend. And now, even if we ended up seeing a little bit more of a bounce here in the short term, we still have a decent amount of resistance at around 59,500, and a lot of resistance in between 60 to 61,000, more resistance at around 62.9k, and massive resistance at around 64,500. So obviously, even if we see a bit more of a bounce to the upside, there's a lot of resistance above the current price, where the price would likely reject from. And now, if we ultimately see a break to the downside below 56,000 with candle closes below 56,000 here on the daily time frame, then in that case, I'll be expecting a move down towards around 54,000 as the next major support. And below that level, we have this major area of support in between 51 to 53,000. Once again, as the next levels of support if 56 breaks, but at least for now, 56k is still currently holding as short-term support. And if we're zooming into a smaller time frame, looking at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, over the last 1 day, we actually saw another slight drop to the downside again, which is once again extending this short-term bullish divergence with yet another lower low in the Bitcoin price in the candle closes, and another higher low forming, and actually just now confirmed here in the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI. And so obviously the story of the last 1 week or so has basically been a short-term bullish divergence confirming, playing out over around 1 day, and then another lower low, and then another short-term bullish divergence confirming, playing out over around 1 day, and then another lower low later on, and then another short-term bullish divergence confirming, playing out over around a day or so, and then another lower low later on. And so obviously, if this continues to repeat for another day, we could continue to see a little bit more of a bullish relief here, and then potentially another move to the downside again within a day or two from now. But ultimately, while the Bitcoin price and the RSI are basically diverging in the bullish direction, we are actually seeing less bearish momentum just in the imminent short term here, as we can clearly see looking at the slope of this bearish move. Back here, obviously, we're seeing a much larger drop to the downside, pretty much straight to the downside. And obviously, since then, once the RSI and the price have been diverging in the bullish direction, we have seen less bearish momentum. Obviously, we can see a lot of bearish momentum right here, and then less bearish momentum here, not as steep to the downside, but clearly we're still within the bearish trend. So we're still seeing selling pressure, just not as much as what we saw right here, for example. And so what we're most likely going to see just in the short term over the next 1 day or so is potentially a little bit more of a relief, basically a break from the short-term bearish trend, kind of like what we saw just here or just here, for example, based on these previous bullish divergences that played out over the last 1 week or so. But once again, considering the bearish momentum in the markets at the moment and considering the fact that we're still very bearish on the larger time frames, ultimately I'd not necessarily expect a lot of bullish momentum here, potentially just a slight relief during the bearish trend. But believe it or not, you can still make money in crypto even if the prices are bearish with short positions, for example. And personally, when it comes to trading Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally, I take just about all of my trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, which is a massive lucky draw happening right now over on Bybit, where you could potentially win up to $100,000 just by trading crypto using the link down below this video. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is Bitfinex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitfinex, which basically means if you're in the US or the UK, for example, you might not be able to access Bybit, but you can access Bitfinex. So I'll leave a link to Bitfinex as well down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you actually use that link down below this video, I'll take you to this page right here where you can claim a 5,500 USDT bonus using that link. And also only if you use that link, you can get an exclusive 10% discount on all trading fees on the exchange forever if you use that link below this video to make your Bitfinex account. And so as an alternative exchange, another option other than Bybit, one that you can access from the US or the UK, for example, there is Bitfinex. Once again, links down below if you want to claim those extra bonuses. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, obviously over the last 1 day, we saw a bit of choppy sideways price action here. We saw that move to the upside, which I covered in my last video, and then another slight pullback here. And so far, we're bouncing around this previous low, but we do have a lot of liquidity starting to build at around 55,500. So keep that in mind. But as I said in my last video, we still have a massive area of liquidity right now, starting at around 59.8K and going up towards around just above $60,000. And so that's still definitely an important area on the Bitcoin price chart to pay attention to, a potential price target to pay attention to. But with that being said, I'd not necessarily expect the price to go straight to those higher levels just based on this chart alone, because obviously we still have to remember that at least for now, the price is trending in the bearish direction with a lot of sell pressure in the market right now. But of course, if we continue to see the bullish divergence play out properly this time around, not just half a day or 1 day worth of a relief and then another lower low, if we actually see a bullish divergence play out like what we usually see a bullish divergence play out as, in the form of a slight bullish relief over a few days or so, not just half a day, then that could potentially draw the price closer towards this higher area of liquidity. But we also have to remember that between the current price and this higher level of liquidity, close to $60,000, of course, we have other areas of resistance along the way where the price would likely also reject from or struggle at. And so ultimately, I'd like to see a stronger bounce from this area of support and other bullish confirmation signals, like at least some higher highs here confirming in the Bitcoin price above some of these previous highs, in order to actually start expecting the price to take out this higher area of liquidity closer towards $60,000. But with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, and just over the last 1 day, we've actually just recently confirmed a 3-day candle close below this short-term support right here, which was sitting at around 2450 to 2.5k. So of course, here on the 3-day time frame, that is a bearish signal pointing towards the continuation of the larger bearish trend, which I've already been talking about for a long time now on the channel. I've already been bearish on these larger time frames for over a month now here on the channel. And ultimately, the next important area of support to the downside is this golden pocket, which was previous significant support for the price of ETH, and that's sitting in between 2150 to 2.2k. And also this previous level of support at around 2450 to 2.5k should potentially be acting as new resistance if we see a bit of a short-term bounce here. But even if we see another breakout back above 2,500, back above that short-term resistance, in that case, we still have a massive level of resistance at around 2.8k, and I would only start to think about flipping more bullish again on the larger time frames if we start to see a confirmed breakout with candle closes on the larger time frames back above 2.8k, which obviously as of right now has not happened. So for now, we're still looking bearish on the larger time frames with a lot of resistance above the price. But if we're zooming into a small time frame, looking at the 8-hour chart, this is just the short term. Obviously, over the last one day, we just confirmed a new lower low in the candle closes on the 8-hour time frame in the price, while also basically still forming higher lows here in the RSI, which is essentially extending this previous bullish divergence to confirm a new bullish divergence. But as of right now, this new bullish divergence has to be confirmed again with at least this green candle close actually confirming in the green, which for now, this candle has not yet closed. And so once again, this is a new bullish divergence that is forming, but it is not yet confirmed because we're still waiting for that candle close once again. And even if it does confirm, it will likely result in a slight relief from the bearish trend. But ultimately, a bullish divergence by itself does not necessarily mean a massive bullish trend reversal. Obviously, what we saw last time was a decent bounce, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's just a slight relief before potentially more bearish price action later on. And if we're zooming into this 6-hour time frame, right now the price of ETH is once again bouncing from this critical area of support right here based on these previous lows and also this previous low that we saw just a couple of days ago, sitting in between around 2.3k to 2350. So right now 2.3k to 2350 is acting as short-term support. And so that basically means just in the imminent short term, I do expect the price to hold this area potentially for the next few days or so. We could see a slight little bounce here, but once again, this does not necessarily mean I'm bullish right now. So I do not expect a lot of bullish momentum, but I do expect the price to just hold this area for at least the time being over the next few days, potentially once again. And now that the price is running into this area of support and we're seeing another bounce, at least for now, this could also help this new bullish divergence actually confirming over the coming hours, over the coming day or so, which could result in a slight relief over the coming days if this bullish divergence confirms. But once again, at least for now, all of this is currently occurring within a much larger bearish trend if we're zooming out. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the daily time frame, we are once again seeing a bounce from this exact area of support in between around 120 to 128. And I spoke about just a few days ago here on the channel, I spoke about how it's very likely here in the short term that the price of Solana will basically find support at this range and then basically start to stabilize a little bit. So basically slow down the bearish momentum. And that's pretty much exactly what we've seen over the last few days. Obviously, we've seen multiple bounces from this area of support and then pullbacks again and then bounces again from this area of support. But if we're looking at the momentum in the market, previously around a week ago, we were seeing a lot of bearish momentum in the short term, but since then that momentum has really slowed down to the downside. And so effectively in the imminent short term, we're actually looking relatively neutral, just chopping around sideways, bouncing from this support, and we still have this area of resistance to the upside to watch out for, starting at around 138 to 139 and going up towards around 143. So in that price range, expect a lot of resistance. And overall, the larger trend as of right now is still relatively a neutral trend, basically a sideways price range with relatively horizontal highs and horizontal lows, which is basically what a sideways price range is. And so right now we're looking relatively neutral in the short term and in the larger trend at play. But believe it or not, even in choppy sideways price action just like this, you can still make a lot of easy profits in crypto if you know what you're doing. And once again, if you want to trade those moves, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action just like this, then watch the video in the bottom left of your screen right now, because that video popping up right there in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. And the video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.